why you should sit on the floor every day after 50. The longevity habit that could help you stay independent longer. When was the last time you sat on the floor? Not because you dropped something or you were exercising, but simply because your body still could? Think about that for a moment. Because for many people over 50, the floor slowly becomes off limits. Not officially, quietly. First, it becomes uncomfortable, then awkward, then difficult, and eventually, some people stop trying altogether. But here's the frightening part nobody warns us about. The moment you stop being able to comfortably get down to the floor and back up again,
your body may already be losing one of the most important predictors of independence. Not youth, appearance, but independence. Because aging rarely announces itself dramatically, it whispers. In the knees, in the hips, in the hesitation before movement, in the way you reach for furniture before standing, in the way stairs suddenly require more thought than they used to. And one day, you realize the body that once moved naturally now negotiates with every movement. That realization hits hard, because after 50, people stop worrying about looking old. They start worrying about becoming dependent, needing help, losing mobility, losing confidence, losing freedom. And, strangely enough, one of the most powerful habits for protecting your body after 50 may be something incredibly simple. Sitting on the floor. Now, stay with me here. This is not about becoming a yoga expert, not about forcing your body into painful positions. And this is definitely not about pretending aging does not exist. If this resonates with you, take a second to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. I want to build a community of people who are prioritizing staying healthy, independence, and strength after 50. Aging is real, but losing movement faster than necessary, that's a different story. Because your body adapts to whatever you repeatedly ask it to do. And modern life has trained many of us to stop moving naturally. We sit higher. Move less instead. We make use of car and lift. Stretch less. Squat less. Balance less. We rather get all the possible support. And over time, the body quietly responds. Not out of punishment, out of efficiency. What you stop using, your body stops prioritizing. That is why this conversation matters. Not from fear, from awareness. Because mobility loss often happens slowly enough that people don't notice until everyday life becomes harder. Children naturally live close to the ground. They squat effortlessly. They crawl, twist, roll, sit cross-legged without thinking twice. But adults? We graduate into a world of chairs, office chairs, dining chairs, car seats, couches, recliners. And year after year, the floor gets further away. Not physically, functionally. The hips stiffen, the ankles lose mobility. The core weakens, balance declines. The spine becomes less flexible, and most people blame age alone. But often, the body is simply adapting to reduced movement. That's why some people in their 70s move beautifully, while others in their 50s already feel trapped inside stiff, cautious bodies. The difference is not always age. It's movement exposure. The body remembers what we continue practicing. And unfortunately, it also forgets what we abandon. Before we continue, if there's something fascinating doctors and movement specialists sometimes use called the sitting-rising test. It sounds simple, but it reveals a lot. You sit down on the floor, then try standing back up, using as little support as possible. That's it. And what surprises people is how difficult that can suddenly feel after years of avoiding floor movement. Now listen carefully. This is not about passing or failing. This is not a judgment. It's information, because the ability to lower yourself safely, maintain balance, Coordinate movement and rise back up requires multiple systems working together at once. Leg strength, hip mobility, core stability, joint health, balance, coordination, even confidence. And when several of those systems begin weakening together, daily life quietly changes. You move more cautiously. You avoid certain activities. You become more fearful of falling. And fear changes how people age. Sometimes dramatically, because once people stop trusting their bodies, their world slowly becomes smaller. Let me ask you something honestly. Could you comfortably sit on the floor right now and get back up without struggling? Or has the floor started feeling intimidating? I'd genuinely love to know. Share your experience in the comments below and tell me how your body felt during this test. And if you're someone who wants to stay strong, healthy, mobile, sharp, and independent, as long as possible after 50, make sure to subscribe, because this channel is not about chasing youth. It's about protecting quality of life, one small habit at a time. One of the greatest fears people carry as they age is dependence, not being able to do simple things alone anymore, needing help to stand, bath, and moving through ordinary life. Most people never say that fear out loud, but it's there, especially after watching parents or loved ones lose mobility later in life. That changes people, because suddenly longevity means something different. People stop asking, "How long will I live?" and start asking, "How well will I live?" That's the real conversation happening right now in the world of healthy aging. Not just more years, better and usable years. Years where you can still travel the world, walk confidently, and play with grandchildren, and trust your own body. Mobility sits at the center of all of it, because movement is freedom. Balance and strength are also freedom. And every year you preserve those things. You preserve options. Now here's the good news. You do not need extreme workouts to begin reconnecting with your body. You just need small moments of movement. Consistently. Here are 3 simple ways to begin. Habit number 1. The commercial break floor sit. The next time you watch television, sit on the floor during one commercial break. That's it. 5 minutes. No pressure. No perfect posture. Just let your body reconnect with the ground again. Shift positions gently. Stretch your legs. Notice what feels tight. Notice what feels comfortable. Even sitting there activates stabilizing muscles your body barely uses in chairs. And over time, small exposures create big changes. Habit number 2. Active sitting. Most people sit completely still. But your body loves movement variation. Try sitting cross-legged for a minute. Then extend your legs out. Then lean side to side gently. Then switch positions again. This keeps your hips, spine, and joints engaged naturally. Think of it this way. Movement is nutrition for the body, and stiffness often grows where movement disappears. Doing all these little tasks helps with body movement. Habit number 3, assisted rising. If getting up from the floor feels difficult right now, that is completely okay. Use support. Use the couch. Use a chair. Use a table nearby. There is absolutely no shame in assistance. Remember, the goal is not performance. The goal is preserving the ability itself. Because every time you practice getting up, your body learns, your nervous system adapts, your confidence improves. And confidence matters more than most people realize. Something interesting happens when people begin moving better again. They often stop feeling fragile, and that changes everything. They stand and walk differently, travel differently. They participate in life more confidently, because movement affects identity. If you constantly feel unstable, life becomes smaller. But when your body feels capable, you engage with the world differently. That is why preserving mobility is not just physical. It's emotional and psychological. It's deeply connected to dignity. And perhaps one of the saddest things about aging is how many people assume decline is completely unavoidable. So they stop trying. But the human body remains adaptable far longer than most people realize. People improve balance in their 60s, strength in their 70s, mobility in their 80s. Not because they became athletes, but because they stayed engaged with movement consistently, patiently, gently. So today, before you sink into the couch like you always do, try something small. Sit on the floor for a few minutes. Nothing complicated, nothing extreme. Just sit there and notice how your body feels. Maybe your hips feel tighter than they used to. Maybe getting down feels awkward. Maybe getting back up takes more effort than you expected. And that's okay. That doesn't mean your body is failing you. It simply means your body is talking to you. Most of us ignore these little signs for years, until ordinary movements stop feeling ordinary. Paying attention now can change a lot later. Because aging well is not about trying to feel 25 again. It's about keeping the kind of strength that lets you live life without constantly depending on other people. Double. Being able to move confidently. Catch yourself when you stumble. Get up without fear. Trust your own body again. That's real freedom after 50. And honestly, that's why something as simple as sitting on the floor matters more than people think. Every time you lower yourself down and stand back up, you're reminding your body not to give up on movement. You're keeping those muscles active.
Keeping your confidence alive too. It's not just exercise, it's a quiet way of telling yourself, I'm still capable. And that mindset can change the way you age. Before you go, if this video gave you even one small insight, please give it a like and share your progress in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, as every week we focus on one small habit that brings you closer to staying healthy even after 50. Remember to stay healthy.